Good morning. Did you know that only 3% of the world's population, adults, have clear, written, well-articulated, specific, and measurable goals? And this 3% of the world's population accomplishes 10 times more than others who do not have goals at all. This 3% of the world's population has 10 times more success in whatever they do. They're earning 10 times more than people who do not have goals. I wonder then, why is it that most people in the world do not have written goals? This study from Harvard that dates back to 1979, I got thinking and I started my journey on understanding what is that one big piece that stopped people from having written goals and living the life of their dreams. And during this journey, I had some very interesting observations and learnings. The first observation was that there are 4 kinds of varieties and kinds of people in this world. The first variety of people are those who believe that one doesn't need to have goals. Life is good. These are people who put on a backpack, get into the game of life, almost like entering a new country. No road map, no road signs, and absolutely no idea of the language. And they take life as it comes, one day at a time, 1 week at a time, responding to situations on the way. This is what I call a very reactive way of living. And it works for some, and that's great. My learning from this particular observation was that it's really important that we have clear, specific goals in specific areas of our life. The second variety of people that I met were the kinds who said, I don't need to have written goals, they're all up there in my mind. And I said, wow, with over 1,500 thoughts bombarding your mind or literally swimming through your mind every given minute of the day, when you say you've got your goals up in your mind, I visualize your goals as being vague, contradictory, confusing, and even deficient in more ways than one. My key learning from this observation was that one needs to have a blueprint to construct a building. You don't land up at a vacant site on a fine morning with truckloads of sand, cement, and stone and say, let's start to construct a home or a building. When your target is unclear, even the best shooter in the world cannot hit bullseye. And I'm sure you'll agree with me on that. Then there came a third variety of people which said, life is way too unpredictable. Goals don't work, so why have them? Have you ever bought a ticket to travel from Bangalore and land in Delhi? Did you know that when you get on a flight, over 99% of the time, your aircraft is off course? It is only the skill of the pilot and the complexity of the avionics that helps you keep correcting course, and eventually at the end of a 3-hour journey, you land where? In Delhi. My learning out of this observation was very clear that the same thing happens in life. But when you have a very clear long-term goal and you know exactly where you want to go, how you want to get there, what is your specific action plan, there will be a lot of obstacles, no doubt. And you will have to course correct several times on that route. But guess what? Eventually, you will land at your destination, the destination of ideal and great dreams, health, wealth, and great success. And then my last observation, and the most interesting one, came out of the fourth variety of people that I met. These were people like you and me who said, well, I know it's very important to have goals in life and that I need to have written goals. But then, how do you write these goals? Give a pen to a paper. What do I write? How do I articulate these goals? And I said, wow, this is my kind of people. For years, I've struggled with the idea and understanding of the process of goal setting and what it was that most achievers in the world did that made them who they were, and what was it that was stopping me from achieving that same thing in those same 24 hours. And I realized, and very honestly speaking, is that I did not know how to articulate my goals. How do I write them? How do I track my progress? What kind of actions do I need to take each day so that I keep moving one step closer to my goal? And then, most importantly, what do I do when I lose steam? We all do, right? We lose inspiration and motivation to keep going on that route. No matter how important that route is and it's going to take you to your destination, we lose inspiration to keep going. What do you do on days like that? And out of this observation came a very interesting learning, one of the best learnings I've had on this journey. And that learning was the fact that goal setting is a skill. And you can learn a skill, just like you learn how to manage time, like how you learn to drive, climb a mountain, or for that matter, even ride a bicycle. And once you've learned a skill, you get to practice it. And the more you practice that skill, you get to master the skill. So with these key observations and learnings of my journey of goal setting, I decided to take a deeper dive for a few more years and explore books, audio tapes, workshops by leading authorities on goal setting, attending workshops by people like Tony Robbins, Robin Sharma, Brian Tracy, and even Jack Canfield. And all this exposure threw open to my mind a whole new way of life that I could experience. And you know what it said? The only way to get that experience is to begin by having written goals in your life. And so I started to write down my goals, take small steps each day towards achieving those goals. And you know how it is when you get excited, right? When you take up something new, you're all excited. Your inspiration levels are 8 on 10. And so too, I took that scale on 8 on 10, continued on that journey for a week. And slowly and gradually, while I was making progress and enjoying that journey, something strange was happening in the back. And that something strange was the fact that my scales were dropping. From an 8 on 10 inspiration, I came down to 5 on 10. The next week, I was at 3 on 10. My excitement, energy, enthusiasm, and all that I started out with had suddenly started to fuse away. But on the 4th week, I was almost crawling to take that one little step towards achieving my life goals. This entire exercise taught me one very interesting thing, that while it is so important that we have written goals, there was one big piece that was missing, that was stopping me from taking my written goals and taking them to an achievement mode, converting a dream, a thought, an aspiration into a reality. And I believe that that missing piece is having a system in place which helps you set, achieve, and celebrate your life goals. A process that just does not encourage you to have a system of goal setting, but also gives you a framework to set a plan, figure out a routine, build certain winning habits, document your daily wins, however small or big they may be, and then celebrate those milestones, however small they may be, because it's all about your life. And then also the system is something that can give you tools and techniques at will that I can use to inspire myself on a daily basis to take my life from where it is to where I want it to be. While there are several resources out there which will tell you how to achieve your goals, why to write your goals, what's the importance of goal setting, I believe central to the idea of goal setting is the fact that one needs to have a robust system in place. And the beauty about having a system is, once you have a system to do something, things become easy. It cuts down your efforts to half when you know you have a system. All you need to do is think about what do you want, why do you want it. The how takes care of itself because you get into the system and you start doing certain daily rituals. The second thing about having a system in place is that it brings it to your awareness, a very interesting facet of life. We're here as students, we're here as adults, we're here as families. And most of us end up pursuing only one goal at a given time in our life. And it's okay to be that way. But sometimes we forget how to take a break, come back, and objectively look at where life is going. Have you missed out on seeing your children grow up only because you were chasing a financial goal? Did you forget to spend time with your parents because you were busy chasing a career goal? When you have a system in place, it brings into your awareness the importance of having goals in 7 key areas of your life: health, wealth, relationship, finance, career growth, personal growth, and even making a difference to the world that you live in. I know what it is like to live a life without articulating your goals and living along somebody else's goals. It's almost like saying you're driving your own car but along someone else's directions. So when I found a way to navigate my journey, I was inspired to create this system and make it a reality, so more and more people across the world could access the system to start living the life of their dreams. We have 2 choices in life. Either we have our own goals and we work on them, or we work for someone else who's got goals. The difference is when you have your own goals to work on, you take charge of your life. You get into the driving seat of your own car. And how amazing is that? Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to get down to writing the blueprint of your lives, setting meaningful goals in 7 key areas of your life. And can you imagine what your life will be as a result of having clear, meaningful goals? Can you imagine what you will feel like when you wake up first thing in the morning and say, wow, I know exactly what I want to achieve. I know why I want to achieve it. And can you imagine the experience that you're going to feel when you begin that journey and start to make small wins every single day? The 3% club of goal achievers in this world and living the life of your dreams can be a reality for you and for me. Thank you very much.